Hello, and welcome to another episode of Selling Hobson by the Pound. Before I get into this week's offering for the Music 24, behind me you might see this unusual line array of loudspeakers, and at some point in the near future I'm going to talk about those a little bit. They're made by a company called High Resolution Technologies, which I owned a few years ago. And they do some really interesting things that people might be interested in. And I do actually have some left over that people might be interested in. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's talk records. And remember, we're headlong into my EMI collection, which I think numbered somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000. Of course, some of those were duplicates. But here we go. This is a very interesting record, Elgar and Vaughn Williams Violin Sonatas. And what's interesting about it, not the composer, but the players. And Yehudi Menuhin is on violin, and his wife is on piano as an accompaniment. And I put, this is an EMI pressing with an angel sticker for export, an exceptional copy. Absolutely superb recording of Menuhin, accompanied by his wife Hefzibah, on piano, performing sonatas for violin and piano by Elgar and Vaughn Williams. This effort is nothing short of a masterpiece. ASD 3820. Very rare record. You don't find that very often. Here we go, Vaughn Williams. So it must be in the Vaughn Williams section, or at least part of it. And Elgar again, Butterworth, Robert Tier singing, City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. This is another one of those angel EMIs. It's pressed by EMI, but it's got this angel sticker over the dog and horn. And the same they put over the record label. You can kind of see that angel sticker. There's a dog and horn behind there. They did that because of the copyright problems with the dog and horn. They could only do that in the UK and Europe, and in the United States, the dog and horn as a trademark is owned by RCA. So they had to sticker them, which was easier than making another label and so forth. Anyway, I say Robert Tier sings Vaughn Williams, Elgar, Butterworth compositions accompanied by the City of Birmingham Orchestra. Classic EMI balanced recording with great sonics, and this copy has nice quiet surfaces. We always like that. UK pressing with angel sticker over dog and horn for export. Beautiful vocalist and recording. So this looks like it was interesting. Just a little side note. Imported and distributed by Double Arrow Records, 11th Street, Long Island City, New York. And they have the telephone number on here. This is from many, many, many years ago. Little silver sticker, a gold sticker that they put on when they imported these into the United States. Anyway, there you go. Another wonderful, wonderful record. This is probably the last copy that I had of London Blueback. This came out as an SXL as well. Remember the blueback on the back. Superb 2E, 3E, 1E copy with very quiet surfaces despite visual surface scuffing. Great sound and dynamics. Onsame, remember he's the guy that did the Royal Ballet, knocks it out of the park on this one. And the Decca recording team captured every nuance of the orchestra and the whole. I write big sound. Remember, I don't write that very often. Top recommendation. And this is an original FFSS deep groove pressing. So fantastic. Faya three-cornered hat. Here's an interesting record. This is Ephron Kurtz conducting the Philharmonia Orchestra. And it's an homage to Pavlova, 1881 to 1931. Superb mono recording of Kurtz conducting the Philharmonia Orchestra in Ballet Favorites. Nice dog and horn label, early copy with big dynamics. That's, this is an original mono copy with, it's just superb. Especially if you have a mono cartridge. You don't have to, but if I have a mono cartridge on a turntable. There's something about mono played back properly, that has an advantage over stereo. I've talked about it before. There's a solidity to the instruments and the placement that gets confused a little bit with stereo. The trade-off is stereo gives you that image and, you know, a little bit of more hall ambience, a little more, but it suffers from phase interactions in the microphones and in the cartridge and playback and speakers and the whole thing. So anyway, for what it's worth, mono done right is sensational. Here we've got a Studio 2 stereo, again EMI with the Odeon sticker on it, so that's pressed in the UK. Superb original Studio 2 recording, plays near mint, big sound, highest recommendation. Eric coached the Three Elizabeths, the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra with Reginald Kilby conducting. So this is part of that CSD series that they did, of which, no, TWO I should say. These are really wonderful, wonderful records, both recording quality and pressing. Here we go. One of the favorites. This is La Philharmonie, Harold Lanchberry, SXL 2313. Original copies of this now, deep groove copies, are probably in the $700 to $800 range. This is an 80s Decca reissue, so they put it out new, unplayed, and it's in fantastic condition. Highest recommendation, great recording. Here's, oh geez, we found a copy of this. This is a Mercury Living Presence, Bela Bartok, The Miraculous Mandarin, sorry. And with Dorati conducting the BBC Symphony Orchestra, so that's a UK. RFR1, original inner sleeve, very quiet, clean copy. Look at that Mercury inner sleeve. And yeah, it's a fantastic record. SR 90416. The bells. This is a famous Previn recording that everybody sought after. This is a TAS HP Super Disc list item. Notice it's a reissue. They did the same thing. Alto did the same thing when they shipped them to the United States. They put a sticker over the dog and horn. Alto high fidelity reissue from original master tapes, mastered at Abbey Road Studios, pressed in Germany. Unplayed TAS HP Super Disc. Rachmaninoff the bells, Previn LSO. Not to be missed. If you don't have this, this is a great copy to get. Here's another Alto reissue. Remember, it's got the little piece of tape over it to obscure the dog and horn. Mint Alto High Fidelity audiophile reissue from original master tapes cut at Abbey Road Studios, London, pressed in the UK. And it's kind of cool. They reproduced the original white and gold label, although it's not quite white, it's more of a cream color. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, this is Barbaroli conducts English string music. This is a well-known recording. This is unplayed. So, Malcolm Arnold, Symphony No. 2 and eight English dances, I think, right? Yeah. I write big rich EMI recording with Bournemouth in Bournemouth, UK. Many audiophile qualities about this recording. Good bass, great dynamics, and a quiet pressing add to the beauty of the Charles Groves Reed of Malcolm Arnold. Great copy. I put very big sound, top recommendation. It's got the small postage stamp dog label. Great copy. This is cool. This is cool. Rachmaninoff, this is ASD 3606. One of my favorite conductors, by the way. You don't see him, he doesn't record very much, but I saw him play at Carnegie Hall, Yuri Tamirkanov, and he's conducting the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I say rare copy of superb Tamirkanov performance. Top recommendation. You never see this record. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen more than one copy. Postage stamp dog label. That's a good one. Vaughn Williams, Job, A Mask for Dancing. Music commissioned from Vaughn Williams for an unconventional ballet danced in the English folk tradition rather than in the Russian tradition. Beautiful performance by Sir Adrian Bolt. to whom the composition is dedicated, by Vaughan Williams. Cool, right? Big dynamics on this great EMI recording effort. It gets a wow. So there you go. Got the postage stamp dog. These are cool records. Okay, Bolt conducts the string music of Vaughan Williams. Fantasia on the theme of Thomas Tallis, Concerto Grosso, and Partita for double string orchestra. So it's with the London Symphony. Bolt conducting the LSO. I put top recommendation, gorgeous sound. This Bishop and Parker production, remember, recording for EMI. Bolt and the LPO performance is nothing short of spectacular. Sound is big and lush, audiophile quality to the max. This is a big week for records. I didn't realize. Here we go. Klemperer conducts Wagner. Late EMI pressing of legendary Klemperer recording from the early 60s. The sound is nothing short of superb, and the record surface is dead quiet. You can hear every detail. Great, great copy. It's got the big dog label. There's some great stuff this week. Here we go, Muti. I think there was another copy of this maybe last week. Who knows? Verdi Overtures. Riccardo Muti conducting the new Philharmonia Orchestra. I put very dynamic EMI recording of Muti performing music that is dear to his heart. Nice copy with random surface noise that doesn't distract from the glorious performance. So there you go. ASD 3366. Balthazar's Feast. This is a cool recording as well. This is an original. See the Angel series with the postage stamp dog and horn? Original copy of H.P. Tass' favorite, Bishop and Parker recording, no surprise, from 1972 with Previn conducting the LSO in the presence of Sir William Walton, the composer. Huge sound and audiophile dynamics. I put superb copy. It's got a little tear in the cover, but nah, it's not a big deal. Britain, 4 interludes, and from Peter Grimes, Previn, LSO, Bishop and Parker recording. Here's our boys. EMI recording with stunning dynamics. Previn LSO performance are top notch. Scheherazade, Ravel, Scheherazade, Berlioz, and with Janet Baker singing. John Barbaroli, Sir John Barbaroli, I should say, conducting the new Philharmonia Orchestra. I say later. Big dog label, see the big dog? Big dog label with dead quiet surfaces. Janet Baker's voice is heavenly. Beautiful recording and performance. Beautiful copy. Top recommendation. So, oh boy, here's one. I have a copy of this that I kept in my collection as well. Malcolm Arnold, Symphony No. 5, Peterloo Overture, and 4 Cornish Dances. City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Arnold himself. Beautiful recording at De Montfort Hall, Leicester, that's in the UK, with great depth of soundstage and low-level hall ambience. 4 Cornish Dances are a delight, conducted by the composer. Great copy. Cool. Now we're into some fun, and I'm going to continue this probably this next week. I've gone through my soundtracks. I've started going through soundtracks, and it turns out, not surprisingly, I've got duplicate copies, many of which are sealed, and they're fun things, right? So here you go, an example of Rodney Dangerfield, Back to School, factory sealed for your protection. So, you know, we got all kinds of cool stuff on here. Michael Bolton's on this record. Phil Ingram, Aretha Franklin singing Respect, Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. There's even Twist and Shout performed by Rodney Dangerfield. Really cool record. God knows how old this is, but it's still sealed. Tom Cruise, Cocktail, remember the movie, right? John Cougar Mellencamp, Georgia Satellites, Bobby McFerrin, the Beach Boys, Ry Cooder, Little Richard. I mean, this thing has just got who's who, you know, of different people. You know, Ray Vaughn by John Cougar, just singing by John Cougar. All Shook Up, Ry Cooder performing. Really fun movie if you remember it. And if you remember the music from it, really cool. Sealed. Here's something that is an audiophile favorite no one knows about. This is The Emerald Forest. I actually don't know that I've seen the movie, but the soundtrack is ridiculous. This copy looks as though it's broken open, but it's never been played, I can tell. Still has the original shrink wrap on it. Varese Sarabande original issue. It was never reissued, probably never came out on CD, to be honest. And it has really cool audiophile sound. Very, very cool. Top recommendation. Here's one I didn't see coming. This is the Iron Man musical by Pete Townsend. And, you know, there's some cool stuff on here. The Who singing Fire and Dig. New studio. Townsend singing A Friend is a Friend. But let me tell you something. This is one of those records that is all about one song. Okay? And you'll remember there's a record that we put out at Classic Records called Bill Henderson Live at the Times. And there's only one track on that record. The rest of the record's kind of a throwaway. Bill's great, but, you know, Send in the Clowns on that record is amazing. And I put it out, not as an album, but I put out the single. And that's what I do here instead of putting this whole record out. But it's worth one song, and it's called I Eat Heavy Metal. And it's performed by Townsend. It's a Pete Townsend song performed by John Lee Hooker. And I'm going to tell you what, right now, it'll just set you on fire. It's so good. So, put out on Atlantic originally, sealed copy. It's a cutout, so it's got a little cutout in the corner. Ah, man, this takes me back. Robin Williams, God love him, from the soundtrack, Good Morning Vietnam. And I can just still hear him saying, Good Morning Vietnam. Some really wonderful stuff on here if you remember the Nowhere to Run, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, I Get Around, Beach Boys. It's a really, really cool record. What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong. Sealed copy. If you don't have it, you got to get it. Last thing this week. Boy, this is from a long time ago. Andre Previn and his pal Shelly Manne and Red Mitchell, West Side Story. So this is a contemporary record, like an original contemporary recording, but Mobile Fidelity, and this is back in the day of Mobile Fidelity that started in the 70s. Remember, they were really kind of one of the first big reissue companies. They licensed this and cut it at half speed, and it's got that original master recording banner across the top. This is a sealed copy. Never been opened. This has got to be 35 years old. And so this, I think, would have been pressed at JVC in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So this is worth having a look at. Really fantastic. Anyway, that's the offering for this week for the Music 24, and good luck.